We all love our Corvettes, but what if I told you there is an easy way to modernize your 2 decades old C6 Corvette in less than a few hours without selling your lung or a kidney? Today I'm taking my 2008 C6 Corvette to look from this to this. And the new setup should give me Apple CarPlay, touchscreen, factory-style physical buttons, GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and full steering wheel integration, and even a backup camera. But before you say it looks like too much work, this isn't some custom wiring project. It's designed to be a complete plug-and-play drop-in replacement for the Corvette's factory radio. This new CarPlay screen is compatible with all Corvette trims, so you can also install this in your Corvette even if it didn't come with a navigation screen. But here is the real question. Can this actually be the easiest upgrade you can do to your C6 Corvette, or is it just gonna cost me my time with no significant improvement? In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the complete step-by-step installation process, how to wire everything correctly, including wiring your backup camera, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna test its functionality to see if it's actually worth the money. Before we continue, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. It really means the world to me. Without further ado, let's get started. Inside the box, we have everything needed to complete the installation from start to finish. The first thing you'll notice is a comprehensive instruction manual. The manufacturer of this screen is Top Display, and I have to give them some credit here because they actually provided detailed wiring diagrams, installation instructions, troubleshooting instructions, and even explanations of every connectors included in this kit. So if you're installing one of these for the first time, like myself, this manual has everything mentioned, such as a dedicated CarPlay screen setup guide, which walks you through pairing your phone and configuring both Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now let's take a look at the hardware. This is the new Top Display CarPlay screen. The construction feels solid, it has physical buttons, which I personally prefer while driving, and the finished look of this product seems like it is something that came from GM. And all the main connectors are clearly labeled, and I don't see any loose or flimsy components anywhere on the unit. This product is mainly designed for the C6 Corvette, so it should fit directly without any cutting or modifications. Here we have the backup camera that comes included inside the package. Since no C6 Corvette ever came with a factory backup camera, this is going to be a huge upgrade for visibility while backing up into tight parking spots or your garage. This camera also comes with its mounting hardware and everything required for an easy installation. Later in the video, I'm going to explain you exactly how I'm going to wire this into my Corvette. Next up is the main wiring harness, which makes the installation essentially plug and play. Instead of cutting and splicing wires, this harness is designed to connect directly to the Corvette's original connectors while communicating with the new screen through the included CAN bus decoder. What that means is that the screen can retain important factory functions like the steering wheel controls and the vehicle communications without any complicated wiring. Next, we have the RCA harness. This harness provides connections for accessories such as external amplifiers, subwoofers, microphones, auxiliary inputs, additional displays, and various audio outputs. Depending on your setup, you may not even need most of these connectors, but it's nice to have the flexibility if you decide to upgrade your audio system later on. Speaking of audio, Top Display also includes an external microphone. Although the screen already has a built-in microphone, I'm going to test both the options later to see which one delivers the best call quality inside the car. Next, we have the GPS antenna. Since the screen operates on an Android-based platform, the GPS antenna helps provide accurate navigation, date, and time. Also included are these two external USB extension cables. These can be routed almost anywhere in the car, allowing you to connect flash drives, charge your devices, or use wired CarPlay if you prefer. Next, we also get multiple antenna adapters. Since Corvette model years and trim levels can vary slightly, they provide different antenna options to ensure compatibility with your factory radio connection. Now that we've gone through everything included in the package, let's go ahead and connect the wires to the screen and get this thing ready for installation. Every harness and its connector is labeled and are unique in shapes and sizes, so it is actually very difficult to plug something into the wrong location. I'm going to start with the main power harness. As you can see, this port is clearly labeled power, so this is exactly where the power harness should go. All I have to do is line up the connector, push it into place, and once I hear that click, I know it's fully seated and ready to go. Next is the RCA harness. You may not need this harness at all, but in my case, I might decide to use the external microphone later, so I'm gonna go ahead and connect this harness now anyway, while I have everything open. Next is the GPS antenna. This one simply threads into the back of the screen labeled GPS. After that, we have the backup camera input. Even if you don't plan on installing the backup camera right away, you are required to connect this harness behind the screen because it also contains the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas for the screen. Without this harness connected, you might experience reduced Bluetooth range or weaker Wi-Fi performance. And this is your RX-TX connector. If you have steering wheel buttons and you were provided CAN bus with your kit, don't forget to connect this here. Now let's connect the USB extension cables. This package includes both 4-pin and 6-pin USB connectors, which is going to allow you to route your USB ports wherever it is convenient inside the car. Finally, we have the two antenna adapters. I'm going to choose either one and determine later which one is the accurate one after I remove the factory radio and have access to the original wiring. At this point, all of the major wiring connections are complete. The last thing I want to show you is how the backup camera wiring works, because this is usually the part which requires a bit of attention. At first glance, it looks like there are way too many wires involved, but once you understand what each wire does, it's actually very simple. Let's start with the screen side. This harness right here is the backup camera input harness, which we already connected to the back of the screen. The yellow camera input cable plugs directly into this connector, allowing the screen to receive video input from the backup camera. Now, for the screen to automatically switch to backup camera when you put the car in reverse gear, it needs a trigger signal. A common practice is to connect the trigger wire directly to one of the reverse lights in the back of the car, but I personally prefer using the reverse trigger wire already provided in the back of your screen. There is a dedicated brown reverse camera trigger wire built directly into the power harness. So I'm going to connect the red reverse camera trigger wire to this brown reverse trigger wire. This is going to allow the screen to know exactly when the car is in reverse and automatically activate the camera view. Now let's move on to the other end of this wiring. This long camera extension cable needs to be routed from the screen all the way to the rear of the Corvette where the camera will be mounted. Once the yellow video cable is connected, we also need to provide power to the camera itself. The camera has a red positive wire and a black ground wire. You can match and connect the positive red wire to the red wire which comes from the long reverse camera extension cable, while the black wire needs to be connected to a good chassis ground, or you can also connect it to the negative side of your reverse lights. Since most of the Corvette is a fiberglass body, finding a good grounding location can sometimes become a little tricky, but later in the installation process, I'm going to show you exactly where I'm going to decide to ground mine. Once everything is connected, the system completes the signal loop and the camera should work. I have already connected my trigger wire and secured everything with electrical tape so that it stays protected from moisture and vibration. Now that the backup camera wiring is ready to go, let's move inside the Corvette and start removing the factory radio. And here are the tools you will need: a plastic trim tool, a T15, a 7mm, and a torque wrench. So let's go ahead and take the top off. That's what she said, so that it's easier to see inside the car, and take the interior panels off. All right, to take the top off, all I gotta do is open this handle, the same on the passenger side, click on this button, and it should come out easily, and I can take off the roof. Open the hatch to store the target top, sit inside the car, take this out, just like that. Oh my God. Put the top directly here, position it with the hinges, and there you go. And the top is now off. So now I can go ahead and install the new top display CarPlay screen. And in my opinion, the hardest job of the new screen installation would be to remove this interior trim panel. And to do that, first of all, we just have to open this. You can remove this if you want, if that makes it easy for you. All we want to do is get access to the 4 nuts that is holding the screen. And for that, we have to remove this trim panel. The first step would be remove this plastic covering right here. You can use your fingernails and it pops out easily. And once you have access to this, you're going to use your T15 and insert it, and it should come out easily. And just like that, these are out. All right, the next step here is to remove this handbrake cover, and it should pop out very easily. As you can see behind, these are the plastic covers, so be very gentle, take your time, and they should be out just like this. And the reason why we want this cover to be removed is to get access to these 7mm bolts right here. So there is one here and the other one is here. So once you remove these two, this trim should be easy to remove. All right, so it seems like the trim is touching here, which is making it very inconvenient for me to remove this trim panel. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove these 4 T15 nuts, and it should be easy to remove the armrest. All right, the 4 nuts are removed. So now it's gonna be way easier for me to remove this trim piece. So it seems like I need a bit more space for the trim piece to come out because of the gear. It's stopping me right here. So I'm going to put the car in the accessories mode by clicking it once, press the brake, and put the gear farthest sport mode. If you have a manual, you can just put it in the reverse mode. And once it's out of the way, the trim piece is now free to move back. All right, so now in order for me to remove this easily, I have to disconnect the plugs for the traction control and the cigarette lighter. Okay, so this is the cigarette lighter plug. You just have to put your flathead screwdriver and press the button here, pull this gray plug out, and you can wiggle it just like this. This is the plug for the traction control. You have a small pin right here, as you can see. This one, you can just press on it with your flathead screwdriver. There you go. And this one is out too. The next plug to disconnect would be the hazard light right here. As you can see, this is the one for the hazard light. And after a bit of wiggle, it just comes out easily. And the only other plugs that need to come out would be for these things. Here is one for the seat heater. Just press it in below this and it comes out easily. Similarly, just press it here and it comes out easily. Last plug remaining is this one. As you can see, there is this blue pin right here that need to remove. There you go. There's a small plug here. Tap it and remove it. There you go. It is now out. And then now I can go ahead and put the car back in park and turn the car off. All right, so now I have access to these 4 7mm bolts that I need to remove. Just like that. All right, all the 4 7mm bolts are now out. And something to note is I also have to remove the 2 7mm bolts, similarly for the AC control too, because of the clip right here. All right, so the bolts are now out and here is the AC control. I can now remove the screen. And there will be some connectors that you need to remove. The first plug is right here. There you go. The second one should come out easily. The third one, here is the antenna. And the protection is also now out. There you go. This one is also out. And here is the doubled-in original Chevrolet screen. This probably weighs like 5 to 10 kilograms. It's really heavy. Here is what the back looks like. We have a connector that goes directly from the new screen to this one. We have the new antenna that goes here. We will not be using this plug and this plug because we now have an intelligent CarPlay screen with internet access, GPS, Wi-Fi, inbuilt navigation, and whatnot. So we don't need these 20-year-old technology anymore. Out with the old and in with the new. Check out the difference between these two. In size, they're almost similar. The new one is so much lighter and it's very slim, and the old one is so heavy I'm getting a muscle fatigue right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this aside for now. So the new screen installation should not take very long. All we have to do is make sure we connect our main power converter harness, our antenna. So here is the main big connector. These are the 2 grooves, and there you go. And the second thing I need to connect is the antenna. If you remember, this was one of the antenna, so let me go ahead and try if this connects or not. Oh, seems like it does, and it's set in properly. I'm gonna keep this one idle as well as this one idle too. There is so much space here that I can literally just keep these all together bunched inside, and I don't want to stick my GPS antenna anywhere, so I'm just gonna wrap it around these wires and make sure that it's all nice and secure. So let's go ahead and do a test fit. Looks like it fits in very easily. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the car in accessories mode. There you go. The screen just lit up, and the first option I'm gonna select is English. Here is the menu, navigation. Let's see how that works. I haven't set up anything. It's gonna go to its default applications, whatever is set up here. Looks like the sound is working. You have all these buttons here. Z-Link should be the CarPlay. And check out the refresh rate. Looks good. Alright, looks like the screen completely works. I tested out every other feature and the steering wheel controls work absolutely perfectly. The only thing remaining is to test out the reverse camera. I don't have a grounding spot here, so there's no way to activate or trigger this reverse camera. Since the whole trim piece is out, it is a good chance for me to route the reverse cable throughout this area, that I can figure out how I can take it to the back end of the car. That is for later, but for now I can put everything back the same way I took it out. Alright, so you might be thinking, what on earth is going on here? So I want to be able to route my reverse camera wire in a way that it is done very neat and the cable should not be seen anywhere. I took off this trim panel too. There were 2 plastic covers there, and I just had to remove this 10mm bolt, the other one here. And I routed this wire through here, lifted up this carpet from here, from underneath and the back, and now the wire is here. This area is now completed and clean, but for now I'm happy with the length of the wire and I can slowly put back everything all together. Alright, the interior panels are now put in together, and this is what the new CarPlay screen looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and connect the screen to my phone and test out this CarPlay feature. And after I set up the CarPlay, every time the car turns on, the CarPlay is the first app that should pop up seamlessly. Connecting your phone to the CarPlay screen is very easy. All you gotta do is go to your settings, go to your Bluetooth, and pair your device with your phone. Once it's paired, it should automatically be able to connect to your CarPlay. And here is the CarPlay app. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this screen protector from here so that I can see my screen properly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play some non-copyrighted music and test out the sound quality. And I can also control the sound from my steering wheels. As you can see, this is volume up. I am super happy with this screen, and so far everything looks good and smooth. It's gonna look awesome on the street. I can now connect my phone to CarPlay and talk directly on the microphone. In the next upcoming videos, I'm gonna post a full detailed functional review of this screen. This top display screen is actually one of the best and most affordable CarPlay screen available in the market for the C6 Corvettes. And if you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments below, and definitely let me know if you prefer the new CarPlay screen or the GM factory screen. If you guys are interested in this screen, make sure to check out the link in my description and use my code BillFixCars to enjoy an instant 10% discount on your whole order. And you may as well get a free shipping on your order too. If you guys learned something new, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one.